It's a reason why everybody's not making the same money. It's a reason why everybody don't have the same success. Because everybody don't have the same vision. And you can have a vision, but you gotta have the work ethic and the consistency, bro.
Let's welcome to the show, Omari Collins. How you doing?
What's up, brother? How you?
Is the podcast Olympics happening or what?
Man.
You have been able to capture some of the greatest athletes and celebrities out there. Jay-Z, Kanye, OBJ, Cam. Where did you feel like you first made it?
So many people stop because they aren't getting the views or the numbers that they want. Because even with 4th and 1, now we got a studio with multiple sets. But man, we started with a backdrop with a grass wall.
How did your father's passing change you?
You have people that you literally have seen since you have been born. But you're like, man, this person, I can't even imagine life without this person, right? Until that day comes.
Why HBCU?
Thirsting for knowledge, thirsting for growth. Imagine you're around so many black people and we all talking about what our life gonna be in a positive direction.
What were your thoughts when you're laying down on that air mattress in that couple's home with a hole in it, trying to figure out what is the next move?
I only had like $300 a month like left to my name, if that, bro. But to create a company out of it, it's like we sit back and like, dang, bro, we really did this and we gonna keep doing it.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like.
How you doing? What's up? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Oh man, thank you for making the time, bro. Perfect time last night.
Perfect time. I'll never ever pick against Don again. In my bracket, I had UConn because the way they've been playing all year, and I was like, I don't want to put bias because of what I do. I don't want to put bias in it. But man, after last night, it's believe in yourself. I'll send you the brand. They got a lot of different stuff, but they wore it in a game. Don and the staff wore it. That's how I saw it. And then it went viral, and I was like, oh, I need that. You're gonna be over here, yes sir. You ready? You ready?
I am ready, bro. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Stuck in My Thoughts podcast. It's the place you want to be to hear a one-of-a-kind POV. As always, I'm your host, Justin Stuckey, and today's point of view comes from, he is the co-host of 4th and 1. Yeah. He's an Emmy Award-winning producer. He's also the head of development and a producer for Iconic Saga. Let's welcome to the show, my guy, Omari Collins. How you doing?
What's up, brother? How you?
I'm doing good, man.
Good.
Reflecting back on when I first met you, I was driving up to Atlanta. I was like, man, when did I meet Peggy? Yeah. That's also his nickname for y'all out there. If I go back from Omari and Peggy, just know same person.
Exactly.
I was reflecting, and the first time I met you, it was at Auburn's Pro Day. In the locker room.
When Cam came back.
Yeah, and I wasn't even a football player, but I was in there. I left practice. I heard that the Pro Day was going on. And from that moment, I believe it was Tevin, actually, that connected us. And I respect everybody who is a part of a team. Yeah. I feel like nobody's self-made. I don't really like that phrase and that word.
That's true.
Just from that time to now, seeing the journey that you've been on, it was a no-brainer for me to want you on the show. I'm all about people's perspective, their point of views, as you told us. So I'm, number one, excited to have you on to dive in a little bit more. But before we get into the story of your journey, you just got married.
Yes,
so
I did,
congratulations.
Man. Thank you, bro. So that was big for me too. Everybody, not everybody, well, for me, thought about marriage, growing up and like, one day I want to get married. Right person, that God blessed me with. And so I got married. Life is changing now. I'm 2-3 weeks in. And so it's been good. It's been amazing. I have an amazing daughter. And so life is really good though, for real, man. Cause it's one thing to be focused on the work, the show, everything, and like who Omari is, who Peggy is, and like, oh, I know you from the show. It's like when the lights cut off and you come home, it's like it's good to have people and family there. So super, super blessed, super excited to live my life with someone, and grow our family. So I'm in a good space, bro.
I love that. First off, y'all were looking fly when the pictures dropped. I was like, they clean for real. I love it.
Thank you, bro.
the question, and you touched on this a bit. You said, I've always thought about marriage, what that would look like for me. Yeah. And when you're growing up, you date people, you talk to people, and sometimes you talk to them for a long time. Sometimes you'll never see them again.
Exactly.
What made her the one?
So what made her the one was a lot of things. Number one, just my growth and her being influential with my relationship with God. That really was something important to me, and not just when I'm with her, but when we're not together. Mm-hmm. Like, am I still talking to him? Even a lot of people would say like, well, your relationship with God is a you thing. It is, but the people you have around you too help grow that relationship. Either it can help it or hinder it. Mm-hmm. And so she was a help. She's a super nice person, genuine person. And she pushes me. So like I'm anal about certain things, and I'm really strict about certain things. But she's a person that mold me in the right way, and so it's what they call it constructive criticism.
Yeah,
and so that's my baby. Like, she's gonna stay on me. She wants me to push me. Even here, before I got here, she's like, "Did you get this done? Did you get that? Like, what is the goal that you want to accomplish from sitting down today? Like, what do you want people to know about you?" And before I walk out the door, she was like, "I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the man you are, and proud of the man you're becoming." So it was a no-brainer for me. Me experiencing her and her love, man, she definitely is a gift from God instead of a girl. And I think that was the biggest thing that made me say that's her, because she felt like it, and she felt and still feels like a gift instead of a girl.
Yeah, that's what you need, man. I love to hear that, because you want somebody who can push you and sharpen you.
For sure.
As you say, your walk is an individual thing, but I mean, it even says where two or more are gathered, there I am present as well. And you need that type of foundation. I think. For sure. I mean, how old are you?
I'm 32.
32. So I'm 26. We aren't too far apart, but generations changed a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And in my generation now, people are not really focused on that aspect of, true partnership going down forward. Were your parents married when you were growing up?
Well, my parents were married for over 20 years. They did end up getting a divorce, but my mom remarried and my dad passed away. But so marriage, I grew up in a household of marriage, knew about marriage. My aunt and uncle, they just celebrated 33 years of marriage yesterday. Her parents have been married over 20, 30 plus years, I think 30 plus years. And so to be able to see that has been amazing. You know what I'm saying? For her perspective and also my perspective.
That's what I was going to ask you, like having something to aspire towards. So whether it's our industry and media, you always have that person like, man, they were the blueprint. So I was going to ask you, how did what you saw shape the way that you looked at marriage? Because sometimes, from my parents weren't together growing up. I've seen remarried and stay together. I've seen remarried and then re-divorced. So, and you see across the board and trying to figure out, what do I want for my life? In this show, I've said it multiple times, it isn't just about you. It isn't just about me. It's about the people tuning in. And if somebody's out there contemplating, man, I don't know if that marriage stuff is for me, what would be your advice to them?
Well, that was me at one moment. I want to get married, and one moment it's like, is it? And forcing it, because like you said, you 26. Earlier in my 20s, well, later in my 20s, rather, I was like, I need to be married by a certain time. I need to have a child by a certain time. I need to be here at this place, and I was treating my personal life and my relationships like I was trying to knock off accomplishments like work. Like milestone. By 28, I need to be married with one kid. By 29, I need to have two. By 30, I need to be this. So it's like, you can't do that. Like, it has to flow. And for me, even seeing my parents divorce, that was something of like, is marriage a forever thing? Or it's just like, all right, well, it didn't work out. All right, cool, it's another one. And I think that's a perspective that people have. And so my wife now, she was married. Well, not my wife now, but my wife, period. She was married before and, been divorced. And that's where our daughter, Halo, comes from, her first marriage. But that was tough for her, too, to come back in. It's like, after being divorced, it's like, no, I want to do this again, and really making the right choice. And, for her to, get through some of her walls and break down some of her walls and stuff of like, do I want to be married? Like, let me make sure I'm making the right decision, the right choice. And so it definitely has to be a divine alignment. I think the biggest thing was what I heard this. So it was so wild. Somebody called me on my wedding day before I got married and really changed my whole trajectory of my marriage and my perspective of marriage. And what they said was they called, and she actually was getting in the car because we didn't do the whole separate, I don't see you till you show. We actually got dressed together and went into the wedding together.
We're going to be flyers. We're going to be styling together.
So he called me and he was just like, we were talking. He was like, marriage, I don't care what you say. Marriage is not work. All right? Marriage is alignment by God. And he said, when you say marriage is work, your wife is not your employee and you're not hers. That's what you do. That's how you work with people. Mm-hmm. But when you're married, it's alignment. And so it's not like you all chose each other. God chose you all for each other. So you are in an arranged marriage. You can't go anywhere. Yeah. You are aligned. And if it ever feels like it's struggle, that means you all are missing alignment. And you need to get back in alignment with what God has for you all. And so that changed my trajectory. And so even if it's an issue that will arise in my marriage, it's more about prayer and us talking through and communicating, effective communication about getting in alignment.
You touched on something as well, and I think I wasn't planning to go this direction, but that's why I love the show. It's free flowing. Yeah. You said your daughter came from the previous marriage. A lot of guys are too egotistical to be like, I'm not taking care of somebody else's kid.
Yeah.
Where does that humility come from for you? And also the advice point of like, sometimes it's not about you. It's about taking care of the kid. They don't have a choice in that decision. Correct. Like, I had no choice if my parents got divorced or not because I'm not them.
Yeah. I don't like the word step. A lot of people are like, oh, that's my step. It's not like that. It's like, if I love the mom and my wife, then my daughter is the same way. I don't look like, oh, this my step wife or this somebody else's wife. No, it's like, it's mine. Like, she is mine too as well. And I love my daughter as such. Like, she's like my own because she is. And that is to each his own. I know men that say, like, I can't do it. I know women that say, like, if a man have children, I can't do it. And that's your own perspective. And, like, your heart has to be, you have to have the right heart posture, first and foremost. You have to have a certain level, and I'm not saying you're not confident if you don't, but you have to have a certain level of comfortability and confidence within yourself to be able to take in a child from a previous relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because your mental has to be strong too, because if you're not, you'll look at the child as a constant reminder that somebody was before you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be aligned really with yourself. You have to be aligned with God. And you have to really, 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 really look at that child like it's your own. You know what I'm saying? So it's no separation. So when we do have our own children, that's coming from me and her, it shouldn't be a difference in the way I love. It won't be a difference, and it shouldn't be a difference for the people out there in the way that you love your biological than, your other children.
Love that, man. And you are your father's son. Yeah. And I've known that the impact he's had on you, the relationship that you two have had, sure. The things that he was able to do while here has been inspiring, to say the least. I did my research and due diligence to check in on his story. I saw one of the newspaper scripts where he was giving a speech and you were a little kid down there next to him. I'll just let you touch on it. What is your father's impact while you were together meant for you as you've gone through your life?
My father's impact is, and what it meant to me and what it means to me is still growing. Like even this situation right here, coming from the life of a kid of being in front of the cameras with my father, being able to go out in the streets and they like, Brother Collins, I need your help. Can I talk to you? Going to school and waking up in the morning, you might see your dad on the news. Him speaking or, like you said, the front page of a newspaper. I wanted everything but this. I used to shy away from cameras. I used to shy away from wanting to speak in front of people. I used to shy away from anything public front facing, based off of who my dad was, because I wanted, number one, to be myself, but number two, those things in my mind as a child took my father away from the time that he was able to spend with me. So even with coming to school, it's like going to school, somebody be like, oh man, I seen your dad on TV last night. And in my mind, it's like, well, he wasn't at home by the time I went to bed because he was on TV.
Yeah.
So I used to look at and deem all this as like a bad thing. And then it was like in my natural self, it's like, I love this. I love for someone to hear my voice. I love to speak out for people. And my relationship with my dad, man, definitely gave me the confidence to do that, speak out and be me. And literally be me. Like, man, that's me. I don't like that. Well, that's cool. You don't like that. Yeah. But I love it.
Authentically,
you know what I mean?
yourself.
Authentically myself. And Dwayne Collins, man, he was an amazing man, amazing leader, fearless, and a freedom fighter. And so him being the president of NAACP, the president of Black Political Caucus in Charlotte, it changed my life in a lot of ways and helped bridge the gap between my generation and the generations that came before me. You know, you ask people our age, it's like, have you ever did a march? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I was out marching. Have you ever went to a press conference about, civil rights? Have you ever went to an NAACP meeting? You know, you've been there to see some of these things? Have you went to see like the mayor or different city officials to speak out in regards to civil rights and how people of color are being treated? And that was my life, and so even now, even though I talk about sports, that's just what chose me. Sports chose me. I didn't choose it. But in my heart of hearts, like what I would do next with my life and what I'm walking into now, we really speak about mental health, speak about people of color, but all people, and really just opening conversations, even if we agree or disagree. And that's truly what I think, and I know that my life will be led down that path. So
I like that you have that future outlook as well, while you can stay present. And I think this question is good now. It's Easter weekend as we're filming this, and you and I are both believers.
For sure.
Whether you're a believer watching this or not, I stand by this. The Lord, His death changed the world. And I'm looking at this weekend and reflecting on, the time with your father. How did your father's passing change you?
Man, it changed a lot. It really challenged me in regards to my strength. You never know how strong you are or how you will react in certain storms until you're in it. And what I call them are lifers, right? You got certain people that you just look around, you're like, man, you're going to be here for the rest of my life. As a child and growing up, it's like, even as a young adult, it's like, man, my mom going to be there. I'll call them later. My brother going to be here. I'm going to call him later. My dad will be here. I'm going to call him later. And it's like, you have people that you literally have seen since you have been born. But you're like, man, this person, I can't even imagine life without this person, right? Until that day comes. And it brought me into a reality of cherishing the moment, being where your feet are, answering the phone when they call, because you won't always get that. I think we, as people, and I tell my wife this, I said, babe, like, and she has an amazing relationship with both her parents and her family, but I'm always like, you enjoy these moments, but make sure you really are enjoying these moments with your mom, your dad, your sister, our family, because it's not guaranteed. And so it's like when you have, and I look at people, it's like, man, when you have both of your parents, I mean, I'll just call them back, or, man, I was able to see both of my parents in one room. Like, bro, that's a luxury.
Yeah.
That we just don't deem sometimes. It's like, man, I was on the way here. I'm on the phone with my mom. Hey, Mom, I know you called me. I'm calling you back. What's up? Because now only thing I have from my father is voicemail. You can't really hear his voice anymore. And I just hope that who I am as a man and who I grow to be, I'm able to show my family and my community those things of what he has instilled into me. And so, death is going to happen. That's one thing that we can't escape. But how you live your life while you're here, is one thing that you can control. And so it was definitely a wake-up call for me on to grow up, but how to grow up, you know what I'm saying, and making the most of every moment.
Yeah. Kind of makes me think of my favorite Disney movie of all time, The Lion King.
Oh, yeah.
The scene where he's like, Dad, we're pals, right? He's like, right, we always going to be together, right? And he gave him that spiel, understanding that, you know, he always going to be there to guide him, whether, you know, he's physically here or not.
Sure.
And I always reflect back on that. And your father was a pastor as well.
Yeah, he was a minister.
I saw that you got baptized back in August as a PK, a preacher's kid, as they say. I tell everybody, you have to choose that walk for you. Nobody else can choose it for you. Why was that the time, and why did you make that decision then?
Yeah, and just before I even jump into that, it's so many things, too, that my dad was saying while I was a child or growing up that is now starting to make sense. And so for any man, woman, whatever, like whoever, like, and I do like, take heed to what I'm saying. And some things aren't for you to understand at the moment, but you take it in, and then when you're living it, it's like, that's what they meant.
That's what that meant.
But about my walk and why was it the time and the moment, my dad or my mom, they introduced me to God, but they never forced it on me. You know, my dad definitely was very cerebral person, man, wanted you to think of why are you making decisions. He would tell me all the time when I would just do careless stuff, man, men can't afford to make mistakes often. You know, you can make mistakes, but can't make the same mistake, and you can't make them often. And so he would make me think about certain reasons. Why are you doing this? You love God because of what? You choosing to follow Christ because of what? Like, this was my own walk. Because I even see my dad get in the church, serve, and then step all the way out of church because maybe that church that he was going to or we were going to at the time wasn't fueling him, and he had to take his own walk again. And so I never been in this situation of, since we all going to church, that's why I got to go to church. It was like, no, in church, you can find God outside of church, you know? But why was that time for me to give my life to Christ? Man, he was speaking to me in a way that he never spoke to me. I would pray, do certain stuff periodically, and do it out of formality. It was all right, everybody got to pray. All right, let me pray. Okay, Sunday we supposed to go to church? Okay, let me go to church. Okay, I'm going to say my grace. I'm going to say my grace. Okay, it's like you do it just because that's where you grew up to, and they didn't force it, but it was just like the way of life. But when I, really me getting on my own, it's like, now when your mama not there to tell you to pray, and now when your dad not there to tell you to go to church, are you still going to do it? And why are you going to do it? And are you going to have discipline to do these things? Or are you going to wake up and pray? Are you going to wake up and do these things? Are you going to talk to God when you're going through situations, when it's good or bad? And during that time, I made up in my mind that I was going to be consistent with my walk with God. My life changed. I wanted my life to change, not on the surface what the world could see, but the inner me, my man within myself. I wanted me to change. Yeah. And I did a lot of work on me during that time, mentally, physically, emotionally, and most of all spiritually. And so it was a lot of things that I started to pick up, and I was like, this is the day that I want to change and I want to start new. And so in August, man, I started new, man. And before that day, but ever since that day, my life has been different.
Love that, man.
For sure, bro. For sure.
Love talking about all that we have, but we've got to get into your journey a little bit. But I kind of want to start with a overview perspective. What does your life look like if your grandfather never put the camera in your hand?
I don't know, man. Honestly, and I used to give all the credit to like a mentor of mine, which I still do, man, Chi Brown. He definitely showed me how to use a camera. But I never paid attention to like, how often my grandfather would just take the camcorder and was like, and it's so wild because I'm doing it now. He'll take the camera, go around and interview people. We would have a cookout, and I'm in this camcorder. Hey, how you liking the cookout? What are you feeling like? Tell me what you got going on today. What you wearing today? What we here for? I would put together full stories for my questions and interviewing people. I'm like, all right, here, Granddad. And he would take it and we'll watch it later. But even after he passed, I would look at this. I'm like, this is after I was in college. I started a show and everything. And I'm like, oh, my goodness.
I've been doing this.
I've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know where life would be, man. I played ball in high school growing up. And it's so funny. If my grandfather never put a camera in my hand, I don't know what I was doing. Like at one point, I would feel like I would be doing something illegal, because I was like, man, I just gotta get this money by any means necessary. And it just gave me a high to do, like, oh man, like this is what I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
Fast money. But honestly, bro, like even with my journey with a camera and a dream, like literally a dream in the camera, like it has created the life that I'm living now, obviously with my belief in God and my faith. But man, when I first started, man, everybody, like nobody really believed in me starting my own company or even me starting and shooting. Like even my granddad, he put the camera in my hand, but when I was up there editing and all that, he was the main one saying, go get a real job.
Oh,
You
yeah.
sitting around here on this on this computer all day, go get a real job. Till he's seen, I'm like, granddad, look at this commercial. I edited this commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And you thought I was just playing on my computer. What you watch on TV, I create the stuff people are watching on TV.
Yeah.
And he like, oh, wow, that's a real job. Yeah, it is, like, for sure. So it even took him to understand, you know, and see the plan through. And so I know that he's watching from above to see, like, man, he got a real job. Like, people really get paid to sit on camera and give their opinion now. You know? So
that's a good point too, because there's a lot of times when you're chasing a dream, trying to stay tunnel vision to whatever you aspire to do, you have people. And I talked about this on the last show. You got people who's supposed to be in your corner, maybe like, I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I don't know if that's gonna be, or how much money you're making from that, or this and that.
Start.
How do you stay focused on the dream despite other people's doubts, opinions, or their perspectives on what you have going on?
And you got to do just that, what you said, stay focused on the dream. And you got to understand the biggest thing about being a dreamer and a visionary is that you have the vision. And the toughest thing is that you have the vision, not somebody else. And so, like, when I first started, I picked up a camera, my mom was like, man, go get a job with some benefits. Go do that. You know, that's the old way of thing. It's like, you know, even when I first started shooting, you know, even my aunt couldn't believe it. Like, she was like, so you mean to tell me a football team, the Panthers, going to pay you to film a practice or film something, take pictures? People pay y'all to take pictures? Or even so many people just like, what you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, bro, you have to be so tunnel vision on what you see for yourself in your life. You can't even listen to nobody else. Like, you take advice to help you, but like to deter you, bro, it's a reason why everybody's not on. It's a reason why everybody's not making the same money. It's a reason why everybody don't have the same success, because everybody don't have the same vision. And you can have a vision, but you got to have the work ethic and the consistency, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be to a point that you got to almost think you crazy. Like, I done been in a situation where I'm like, boy, I'm deep in it. Man, I'm sure. Bump it. Come on. Like,
let's keep going.
Yeah, bro. It was so funny. It was like when I bought my first home, it was like I was walking out the house. I was running out, and I stopped and I looked. And it was like one of the first cameras I bought. It was sitting on a table. And I almost broke down crying, bro, because it was a situation where I'm like, man, that camera afforded me a home. Like, my vision and with this camera has created a lifestyle for myself. And if I would have listened to everybody else, I would have been looking like everybody else. So, man, you really have to, like, stay focused on what your vision is, and you got to be committed to it. It's not everybody's vision, it's your vision. Mm-hmm. So you got to be committed to it.
I like the show is called Stuck in My Thoughts, and I did a segment before, is what were your thoughts when? So I want you to take yourself back. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts when you're laying down on that air mattress in that couple's home with a hole in it, trying to figure out what is the next move?
That was a situation, man. This year marks 10 years I've been in Atlanta. So right after I graduated, for gold, to go to grad school at Temple University, got signed up for classes, got into school, everything, got all, like, about to go to school in the fall. And I moved out here. And so, like, man, I moved here, like you said, man, I had 2 bins of clothes, a little TV that I can carry in one hand and an air mattress with a hole in it, bro. And like I'm sitting there, I'm making like, man, bro, I literally was making, I don't even know if I even hit $1,000 a month or whatever, if that. But I was paying the lady, like, I only had like $300 a month like left to my name, if that, bro. I don't know, but I was paying her all the money in rent, pretty much. I was making the money working for her and then paying it back in rent. And I was sitting there, going to sleep on an air mattress, ending up on the floor because the hole was in it. So all the air ended up out by the morning time. But I was just like, bro, I can't live like this. And this is before I started OG Collins Media, and I said, I'm gonna take a chance on me. This is when I'm like, bro, bump it. You on the flow. This is literally like, man, get it off the flow. Get out the mud. You here. So if it don't work, then all you gonna do what? You just gonna have to go back home, or you just gonna have to figure it out. And I said to myself, I wasn't going back home. I literally, man, to this day, and I thank God for my friend, her mom reached out to me. It was the night I quit working with the lady. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna pack my stuff up and go back home. Like, what you doing? You out here in Atlanta? I was living an hour out of the city too. I'm like, you ain't even living in Atlanta. Man, you sleeping on the floor, bro. Like, what you doing? She called me in the middle of the night. My friend's mom was just like, don't leave. Some guy called me and told me, don't leave, don't give up. That next day, I got a call, and it was to go work at BET. Shout out to Roland Reeves. He called me. He was my frat brother. And then I started working for Kristen Meyer. She was my producer at the time, and later became, former president of Iconic Saga. But she called, I was a PA, bro, and I did everything. Like, wrap cable, run stuff to the camera ops, like, did whatever. And it's like, man, it just reminded me, like, stay steadfast, bro. Even in the worst situation, it ain't over. Because even if you can feel pain, that means you're still living. You know what I mean? And so that's been my mentality ever since. It's like, man, just keep hustling, dog. Yeah. Because even if it's hurting, you still living. You can change that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Why HBCU? Why did you decide to attend HBCU?
Man. Why not, man? For me, my whole family went to HBCUs. And so when you growing up, you walk into my house, man, you see degrees on the wall. So you see Johnson C. Smith. You see, Livingstone College. You see my granddad went to Johnson C. Smith, but he also went to Purdue and got his doctorate at USF. But he also was a math professor at Johnson C. Smith University. So we used to go to class with him. I would help him grade papers, do all the things. And so I knew when I went to college, it was Wake Forest was a school I wanted to go to as well. But Winston-Salem State was another school because my brother was going there. But then when I walked onto the campus of North Carolina Central University, it was like, oh, it was amazing. And my dad's mom, my grandmother, she went there. So she got her undergrad and her master's there. And I never got a chance to meet her. She passed away before my brother and I was born. But I felt like this warm spirit. Like when I can't even describe it to you, but it was warm. And I never met her, but it felt like I met her that day. The first day I stepped out of the car and stepped on that campus. But for HBCU, man, anybody watching this deciding like why HBCU, even if you're a person of color or not color, it's gonna engulf you in culture. It's gonna teach you things about life, how to work through obstacles. But it made me feel so proud to be Black. Man, you can't get that nowhere else other than the feeling in Atlanta. But being in college, bro, and it's training you and growing your mind, man, you able to see the creme de la creme. I'm not saying if you're Black and you didn't go to college, you're not the creme de la creme. But for me in my world, I was able to see the creme de la creme of of an African American person thirsting for knowledge, thirsting for growth. Imagine you're around so many Black people and we all talking about what our life gonna be in a positive direction. Man, it was so fruitful for my life, bro, and for my children, I want them to go to HBCUs, and I know there's a perspective, and it often comes from people that probably haven't even went to one, but it's like, you don't get the same opportunities. I beg to differ, and strongly beg to differ, because you can create your opportunities But man, how you rooted at an HBCU and the way that they'll get you out into the real world, man, like you'll be so proud to be you, and you'll be bold, and definitely be knowledgeable too as well. And so it's so many connections, and I would tell people, if you could get an experience at a HBCU, go undergrad, and then you can go grad somewhere else. And you can go back grad school at a HBCU and still get it. So, man, to me, in my life and my walk, man, it made sense, for me.
I like that. And I like how you said, you guys are thirsty and hungry for that education, that degree. Yeah. I heard that you worked as a janitor over the summer to pay for your summer classes. Yeah. Can you talk about the humility it took to do that, and then the desire to make sure that when you go back home, your degree is on the wall with the rest of your family members?
Man, when I left home, and like I said, bro, me growing up, like I was great in school. Like I wasn't, a bad child. I think, I was always like looking for something to do. And just whatever that was, I would be willing to get into it. Lost, really. But I grew up, and I remember my dad dropped me off at college. He was like, man, son, just make sure you make it through a semester. Just make it through a semester, man. And I was like, man, I got this, And so I just love being on my own. I was able to go to college and recreate myself. And recreate who Omari is. It was at that moment. I am a younger brother, so my brother, we are not far in age, but so even in high school too, my first high school I went to before I transferred, oh, that's Salim, brother, and so living in somebody's shadows, I don't do well with that, and I like being myself. So I, even when they did some rezoning in high school, so I was able to go to another high school and start from scratch. And I was the first graduating class out of high school. It was a brand new school. But then when I went to college, it was like a brand new college. I didn't have any family there. My best friends, we all went there together. And so I was able to mold my own lane, create my own lane. And so, man, even getting back to the point, the janitor, it was just an opportunity connections. It was just like, I was like, I don't want to go back to Charlotte for over the summer. I want to stay in college, and I had a focus of what I wanted to do. Yeah. So I didn't want nothing to knock me off my focus. Like I knew after my freshman year, I served as Mr. Freshman. I knew my sophomore year, I wanted to pledge and pledge alpha. I knew I wanted to keep my grades high and get ahead of credits so I can have a lighter load when I'm pledging. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, why am I not my focus? What can make me stay here? And it was like, look, we need students to clean up. Me and my best friend Daryl, like one of my best friends, bro, we stripping and waxing floors, bro. We got the jumpsuit on. Bro, hey, I'm gonna tell you, man, all my janitors out there, bro, I know what it's like to put that machine on your hip, baby, and make sure you buffing, bro. That's real. That's real, like, work, bro, like cleaning toilets, cleaning dorm rooms. But you know what it did? It made me proud and walk around my campus with a certain level of respect for it. So when stuff was on the ground, I'm picking stuff up because I'm like, I clean this. Yeah. This room, hold on.
Take a different appreciation for it.
I appreciated it because now you understand, what went into it. And that's the thing with a lot of people. And being a janitor, help me understand what's behind the curtain. It's always just like, even here, like we sit here, it's like, man, it's a dope setup. But who set it up? Yeah. Who got this furniture here? You know what I'm saying? Thanking, it made me more thankful to so many people of like, man, thank you. I don't know what you did or how did you play, but I just want to say thank you because I know you played a part. And coming from that summer, I'm buffing and waxing floors to that year of college. It was like my sophomore year, like, I'm building, I'm sitting, coming from waxing floors to sitting in the chancellor's office and having meetings with different people that's coming to campus and being a face of my university. It's like literally like two opposites. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I'm thankful for that situation, You
love that, man. And I heard you tried to be an attorney. That was the goal at first?
Yeah, man. That's why I ended up going. I was actually, political science was my first major, then I changed it to English with a concentration in literature. But yeah, I want to be an attorney, entertainment attorney, And then I was like, all right, well, I'll do a sports agent because, you know, I was in around sports. And then when I picked up this camera and this mic, it was like, yeah, I'm going to get into the media field.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was it at first because law school was my thing. I wanted to go to law school at Central, matter of fact.
Okay.
So they have an amazing law school. And so that was my first plan. And then it's like, man, I got bit by this bug.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Hey, it's done you well so far, man. You have been able to capture some of the greatest athletes and celebrities out there. Jay-Z, Kanye, OBJ, Cam, so many other out there. Just reflecting back on the time where did you feel like you first made it?
When I first made it, every time I think I made it, it's like, the year after that, it's like, man, you ain't make it. Yeah. This is better than last year. So I always try to get better. But when I started seeing some light, man, I definitely, when I started doing I was like a PA and like being a camera op with BET, it was the first times of like me going to award shows. I'm like, man, I'm at the BET Awards. I remember I used to sit at home and watch this. Oh, man, this is how they really do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, man, shout out to my brother, man, one of my best friends, Austin Duke. He ended up getting going to the Panthers as an undrafted free agent. And the story I told on him, you know, through the camera, that's what actually, you know, prompted the Panthers to actually reach out. And they DM me on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And the power of a DM. Dang. Go ahead and slide. But, man, they DM me on Instagram asking me if I could talk. And I'm like, yeah, I can talk, you know? And so that's when I'm like, yo, the Panthers seeing my work, the NFL seeing my work, like, well, you doing all right for yourself, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's when it started to, like, kind of grow and mold into certain ways.
That's a good point, too, because you never know who's watching.
You never know.
I had a text message yesterday from a network that said they saw one of my interviews, and I'm thinking from my own, you know, hard on myself perspective of, man, it's not doing the numbers I want. It ain't hitting like I want to, but you never know who out of that few is actually watching.
There might be 7 people, but if it's the 7 right people that you need, bruh.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. You know what I'm saying? You can have a 10,000 of people that's like, but if you have one needle pusher, one person that hit, bruh. And that's one thing in this world, it's always analytics, always numbers. Man, I didn't get the views I want. Ain't nobody watching. I'm going to stop. And so many people stop because they aren't getting the views or the numbers that they want. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's so crazy because I deal with this right now. Like, even with 4th and 1 or creating stuff for Cam, it's like, it's easy to do that. But creating something solely for myself, I'm so like, oh, is this going to be right? Is people going to like it? Are people going to do it? It's like, just do it.
Sometimes you got to go.
And today is the first day. I'm going to do it. I brought my camera. My DJ out here, I'm going to just do it. Like, of course, I want a whole setup, but it's like, bro, just pull your camera out, pull your phone out, and just do it. And now you get it. Don't ever get lost into the perspective of it got to be a certain type of way the first time I come out. It's like, why don't you just put it out and then allow it to organically grow? Because even with 4th and 1, now we got a studio with multiple sets. But, man, we started with a backdrop with a grass wall.
Yeah.
And I was sitting at a coffee table. That was my desk. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
you weren't even on camera at first.
I wasn't even on camera at first. You know what I mean? So, but what if we never started?
How did it start? Whose idea?
It was, shout out to it was me. I'm about to say shout out to me. But it was myself, Brendan Cole. Shout out to Brendan. And so and then also David Ricks too, man. He was one of the first person Cam brought on to Iconic Saga when he was working with us. But man, we wanted Cam to talk sports. Cam was like, man, I don't want to sit at a desk, man, and talk sports. Look at him now. Yeah. But he was like, man, I don't want to do it. And I was like, man, bro, we need to do this, bro. And he was like, well, I got to do it an organic way. And so we created it. And so, you know, it was so crazy because it was the day, like, we were sitting in one of Cam's condos and we was coming up with names. It was me and Brendan and myself. And I was like, man, what if we call it 4th and 1? We were just naming. We had a list of all these names. And we were saying back and forth to each other, like, 4th and 1, what you think? Whatever. Football sports with Cam Newton. Like, but we said something, and 4th and 1 was the name they hit. Mm-hmm. And it stuck, 4th and 1 with Cam Newton. And then shout out to Breland. He the one that came up with Welcome to 4th and 1. Where I always, like, he came up with this, like, the lyrics, you know, like the chant. And so one thing about creating, it's never just one person. It's a whole package of people. And that's why it's so dope to create with creatives. And then obviously Cam with the personality. You know, shout out to Kent Heckle. Like, for you all to see Peggy, like, on camera, that was a Kent situation. Kent Heckle, like, he was like, nah, we want to see you on camera. Like, let's try it. He was our YouTube person at the time. Because people would come up to camera like, man, who this dude Peggy, man? I hear his voice. Are you talking to him? You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Cam for creating the avenue, you know? And so that's what it is. So all in all, you know, we created 4th and 1, but mainly myself, Brendan, Cam, you know, for doing it. So
I think you're the first guest I've had on whose show I've also been on. And it was the most, I ain't gonna say random because I knew where I was at, but we were in New York this summer. Fanatics Fest. I'm going back.
Yeah, we'll be back. Yeah.
Gonna be a fun time. But the way it happened was very interesting. But I saw you, and the first thing I got it, my cousin was videoing for me, and I still have it on camera. The first thing I told you was, man, I'm proud of you and what you've been able to do, because I've seen from the times I met you at Auburn where you were holding the camera to the fact of, like, I'm on camera now. And then I told you, I heard the story of, you know, Cam asked you, Peggy, what do you want to do? And you said, I want to be on camera. And he probably was like,
While I'm holding the camera here, I'm like, I want to be on camera. He's like, all right, just keep shooting.
But really, you know, betting on yourself and standing firm and like, no, this is what I want to do. Yeah. And then just reflecting all the times, like, no, I told you this show is about you, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention, you know, what you've been able to build with Cam, and all the times where you've been traveling together to living together. Yeah. What would you say about the loyalty aspect, especially that you've shown? I mean, you don't see many people living with somebody just to film their life.
Correct. Man, you got to give up, you know, some of you to get to the goal and the dream, and then we still living it. We still, you know, working to obtain it. Like, you know, I'm on the way here. I'm still sending him ideas. We hitting each other back and forth, just about, man, what is our audience looking like? How do we make sure we keep and maintain a loyal audience? But, like, man, you got to be so committed to the goal, bro. Like, Iconic Saga is a thing, but at one time it wasn't a thing, or wasn't going to be a thing. But Cam stayed committed to it. You know, we stayed committed to it as a team, and just me and his relationship staying committed to it. To waking up early, late nights, working, grinding, you know, and so loyalty is big, relationships are big, and you know, it's one thing to be the star, and that's one thing about it. Like when it's my time, and this is the first time I'm saying this on camera, bro. When I'm on, I'ma stay on. Like I'ma be so well rounded, and I am so well rounded because I was able to serve in all the capacities. Like, it's one thing to say, like, man, I walked out and I've been the star. It's like, yeah, but you the star because of all these people that's pushing you up to be the star. But to be in the position to be one of those people and to serve different ways, it's like, bro, I'm always going to look at the person that held the door and say thank you. I'm always going to look at my videographer and know what they're going through. I'm always going to know what my producers, my editors, like the writers are going through. You know, like, my driver, all of that. Like, I like to be able to serve in so many different capacities, bro. Like, when it's time, like, bro, God gonna bless me in abundant ways, and He already has. But I used to wonder. I used to tell Him, I'm like, man, why? Like, I don't know why I'm able to experience your life this way. And like, I used to tell him, like, you live your life once, I live it twice, because I'll shoot you living your life, and I gotta go back and look at it again. But it's like, even with that, it's like nobody else from his staff, nobody else he built a relationship actually lived with him. You know what I'm saying? That was just our relationship, and, you know, and how focused we were on creating this content. And I would wake up there, it's like, bro, you come from a 1-bedroom apartment, or, you know, I grew up in a 3-bedroom home, to waking up in a mansion, and it's like, dang, God, what you trying to show me?
Yeah.
And most people, will look at him like, oh my God, man, I'm living life, bro. That's it. And it's like that whole time I was like, what you trying to show me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And being mindful, because a lot of times people have relationships with people of influence, people with money, and that's all they look at it as.
Yeah.
Man, well, how much you gonna pay me? What you gonna do for me financially? And it's like, it's more to that person than that. And it's so much more to Cam than just money, finances, or football. And it's strategic on what he wants the world to see. But, bro, our relationship, man, that's a good brother, man. That's a brother of mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his family is my family, vice versa. And, you know, I look at Cam Newton when I need to look at Cam Newton as a partner, as a business partner, as the football player Cam, the celebrity Cam. But I literally can look at Cam as like, yo, that's my brother. Like, what's up? What you need from me? That don't have no money, no dollar sign attached to it.
Yeah.
And so that's where the loyalty comes from, you know?
That's a true bond right there.
Yeah.
And I got to ask this, man, because I saw it all over social media at one point. Is the podcast Olympics happening or what?
Man, look, we still need to make that happen. It was a lot of jaw jacking, you know, but, you know, Cam been working out. I just been getting back in, man. Me and wifey after this wedding, we've been getting back into it. Man, I'm down, bro. I mean, I know I need a knee brace, bro. Shout out, hey, any knee brace companies, man, get me right, bro.
Holla at your boy, man.
Holla at your boy, bro. I'm a world star, world class athlete. But I really would love to see that, though. Like, I really want that to go down. So I know it's just Cam and I on the team. So, you know, a lot of other podcasts have so many different people. But
hey, you always got an extra if you need somebody.
Okay, there you go, brother.
I got you. Look,
you know what I'm saying?
You better check the history.
All right, there you go. We got you.
I will say this, though.
Yeah.
Respect to Cam. Mm-hmm. But I was on your side in that workout video with the bench press.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Cam, if you see this, this is how I was raised.
Touch your chest, bro.
You got to do the full rep. Bruh. That's why it's supposed to be hard. Correct. If you doing half reps and trying to flex, that ain't it. I'd rather somebody go out by how many reps you did.
We don't have to keep counting.
I'd rather somebody go out in a few reps
there you
and
go.
do it right than get it all the way done and do it wrong.
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to say is that. Hey, I was on your side. I said,
appreciate you,
that made me want to hit the gym. I said, wait a minute, I need to get in there. I'm going to show off something.
Yeah, go on, get in there.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite 4th and 1 moment? You had a lot of them.
I know. My favorite 4th and 1 moment, it would have to be off camera. It wouldn't be something that it wouldn't be on camera. I think the pregame process, man, we used to do like hype, huddle,
chant. Y'all seen that?
Chants. I think even the building of it, bro, like my moments of 4th and 1, or just as a iconic saga as a whole, like happens. It's never a moment when people see on camera. I think it's one of those moments where now I'm walking around the studio, I'm like, damn, we got a studio. I remember we used to do this out of a room in a house, or it was in a basement, or, you know, it was just like in a corner room, and now it's a studio. And that really helps me to fuel my vision. It's like, bro, you helped build this company to now to have a studio. Like, you're a forefather of this company. And still around to see it. And to see that, it's like, bro, we got a studio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally, it hits me, and I have to sit by myself sometimes. Or I can, and it's so crazy because it's like only Cam and I are from the original, you know? And so I sit with him, and I'm like, bro, we really created a team. Like, we really got a company for real.
Yeah.
We started off shooting content just to put on Cam Instagram. Like, he just wanted dope Instagram videos and photos and was like, I don't want my stuff to look like nobody else. That's what it was at first. Like, he started Iconic Saga to tell his story and be uniquely him and create, really, like, control his narrative.
Yeah.
But to create a company out of it, it's like we sit back and like, dang, bro, we really did this. And we gonna keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, bro,
huge.
Facts.
I love that. And winding down the last 2 questions, relationships are huge. That's how we're able to sit down with our amazing guests. You and I have built a relationship over the course of time. I asked all my guests who should come on the show next.
I think you should have Stephen A. on.
You got to connect to Stephen A.? I don't know if you're too fond of y'all right now.
No, but that's love though. Like obviously, if you haven't seen the Jason Whitlock show, I mean when we had Jason Whitlock on there and Stephen A. But now Stephen A. still solid, man. I don't know if you've seen the rant that he put out.
Oh yeah, I
seen it. So he done shout out Kim and Peggy.
Yeah,
but
you in there too.
Yeah, I'm in there too. But it's all love with Stephen A. too, and they spoke. So it's respect there. You know what I mean? Another person, let me see, that you should have on. I want to see Lamar Jackson do an interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would really want to see him speak and kind of like show more of his personality.
Now, if you have, I should have clarified a little bit. Who in your network? Like, if you can call up Stephen A. and be like, "Yo, come on, Stuck Show," then let's do it.
I can't do Steve like that.
We gonna get you one day though, Stephen A.
If it was Cam, it would probably have to be on the fly, like just run a gun. Trying to figure out like somebody I could just call and just be like, "Yo, you should do this show." Like,
good perspective, good story, because it's all about their own point of view, you know.
I think even Kyle Pitts to this point too. Like Kyle Pitts, he has an amazing story too.
Yeah.
And even within like a tight end perspective, some tight ends probably might not get as much FaceTime, but he has a lot of elements, even within fashion. You know, he's a father and so many elements too that he has a story to tell as
Florida
well.
boy.
Yeah, Florida boy. He big in golf too.
Okay, that's what I have
Kyle
to get into.
Pitts put me down on the golf, bro. So shout out to Kyle. When you see this, bro, I gotta hit you because I gotta get on that course, you know, during the off season. So
we're gonna hit you up, Kyle.
Yeah.
And the last question. The name of the show is called Stuck in My Thoughts. And I ask every guest that comes on, what do you get stuck in your thoughts about?
If I'm doing enough. And if I am where I should be, all the time, like, what can I do today? Like, what's up? When I'm going to sleep, when I'm waking up, it's like, what I got to get done, and am I where I need to be? Like, I'm just, man, that gets me stuck in my thoughts, my feelings at times, and then I just have to pray about it and just understand you right where you need to be, but this hustle don't stop. If you don't like where you at, go get it. Keep hustling. And I'm never satisfied where I am. You know, and I'm going for this one day, like, oh, I'm gonna be cool at this age. I don't know if I ever will be. It's just like, I don't know if you ever read the book Relentless, Relentlessness, by Tim Grover. But you should. It definitely talks about like just constant, like just, I did it. Now what's next? What's next? And I get stuck in my thoughts there. And sometimes I need to get stuck more in my thoughts about what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, the present.
The present, bro. Because I'll do this and I'll be like, all right, so what's next? And it's like, no, you just did a show, like in front of 1,000 people. That's big.
Yeah.
Settle, like really, like be in the moment. And so hopefully prayerfully, I'll get stuck more in my thoughts when I make certain accomplishments.
Man, I appreciate that perspective. I love it when they say hustles don't stop, they keep going. And look, make sure y'all go like, comment, subscribe. Omari, I appreciate you sitting down with us today.
Thank you so much, Justin, bro.
Great
appreciate
time.
You.
Look, keep up with his journey. Keep up with our journey. And y'all stay blessed out there. We'll catch y'all for the next one.
Peace.
Man, appreciate it.
No, bro, I'm good, man. This is amazing. Thank you.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah.